How's it feel to be in round 4 then, Mariners? Good? I know I feel good about it. Yes, the Mariners made round 4 last night for the first time since 2001, with a bit of a scrappy win over, obviously troubled Sheffield Wednesday. But to be fair, the lads did a real professional job, I feel. If we look at the lineup that Artel went with, it was Christy Pym in goal, Harvey Rogers, Terrell Warren, Cam McJanet, and Reece Staunton, which was one of the 2 changes that he did make. George McEachran, obviously, in that line defensive role. Amalazor, Green, Corey, and Burnham was the midfield forward. Cavia up front. And to be fair, the Mariners had a lot of the play really. Obviously, a very inexperienced side Sheffield Wednesday. They had a couple of players. Jamal Lowe was the most experienced player in the first half for Sheffield Wednesday. The captain like Barry Bannon was on the bench. He started on the bench and things like that. So a lot of youngsters and teenagers started for Sheffield Wednesday, who, to be fair, they had battled past Leeds and in the last round, so they had some credibility. Again, the way the game started, though, it was kind of like you always go through this feeling out process, and obviously it was always going to be a different game for the Mariners, different game to the Manchester United game. Most of the crowd was made up by Grimsby supporters. Nearly 6,000 of us made the trip down to just an hour and a half away, just over an hour actually. You could do Sheffield Wednesday in about an hour, about an hour and a half away, and 6,000 of us made the trip, and we looked comfortable most of the time when we had our passing moves together. I thought one of the standout players this game, I honestly felt was Cam. I think Cam McJanet was one of our best players. He was always thereabouts. But for me, man of the match for Town was Terrell Warren. There was a chance in the first half where Wednesday had found the way through, and just before, I think it was Brown, who we'd actually had on trial a couple of years ago, was basically put through, clean through by Thornton in Sheffield Wednesday's midfield, and what a tackle by Terrell Warren. Absolutely pinpoint tackle, and he had to be right, because if he hadn't have got that right, he could easily have given a penalty away. And to be fair, I think Terrell is showing what quality he has got, and he showed it there, because what a tackle it was. We just seemed ready for any kind of challenge. I think we all knew it was going to be a different type of challenge to Man United, obviously, and obviously we've got to give some credit to Reece Staunton, who came in and started. Always there and thereabouts, wasn't he, really? Was never afraid to put his foot in, make it difficult for the youngsters. Didn't really make any real mistakes. Christy Pym didn't really have a save to make during the game. We had I'd say it was a bitty first half. No real clear cut, although we were given a free kick sort of early on in the half on Charles Vernon. The referee said it was just outside the box. Actually, if you look at it, it was just inside. But when I saw it in real time, even I thought outside. So it's one of them that if VAR had been there, a penalty would have been given. But from looking at it with one time, you'd have said free kick. So, and Chaz didn't really, didn't really question that, not vigorously, because it was in a good area, and that was the first time their keeper Horvath was called upon. Really. Another player that I've got to give some credit for is Justin Malazor. And I said this when we signed him. I said that people will start warming to Justin because of what a good player he truly actually is. And he was making some real good runs and good passes when he needed to. Took his time, played the right pass, always played the right pass, and was always a menace to the youngsters as well. He was making it very difficult. James, at times, KB was a little bit isolated at times, but chances would come in Vernon being his usual troublesome self. Evan Corey did quite well. He had a good couple of chances during the game. Very nearly could have led to something, but not quite. He had a bit of a wild shot in the second half where you just sort of put your foot through it. Greeny, all we can say is it's just Greeny. We just love Greeny here. Subs were brought on in the second half. And one guy that I'm going to definitely pick up on is the one that plays Kieran. Apparently Kieran Greeny ended up with a bit of a dead leg, and I'm not surprised he didn't end up with more dead legs. The amount of times that just the amount of times he gets fouled or the runs he makes, it's amazing. Jamie Walker, I think, what a substitution that was by Artell. Genuinely, I think Jamie Walker is going to be a guy that if you felt like if Greeny for whatever reason, or Evan for that matter, isn't available, I would not, seeing Jamie Walker on the team sheet pleases me. So it was good to see him get out there. But before that, a goal did come for the Mariners early in the second half. It came from a corner. And it's been credited to Jace Cabia. It was a header from, in the end, ended up being in but a shortish sort of corner. Got it at the near post, but it seemed to ricochet off Sheffield Wednesday player. I know Cam, I don't know whether Cam was originally calling it, but it seemed to come off Jay's, then seemed to come off somebody, then came off the Sheffield Wednesday player. But it's been credited to Jace Cabia with the goal. And it was just about sort of game management while also trying to create other chances. Justin had another one in the second half, a good couple of runs, which was making it difficult. Harvey Rogers was solid as a rock, really. Terrell Warren just was not letting anything past him. There was nobody there, because this was a game that Town could have slipped, because of the it technically wasn't as big as the Man U tie, so to speak. But I think it shows the type of players that we've got here. We can put anybody out and anybody of the team out. This ain't I wouldn't say our full first 11. Obviously, with starting them with Amalazor. It's usually Burns and Burns and Sweeney, but those two can come out, and we've got quality to come in, which is something Town haven't had over the years. And still with the players still to come back, like Zach Gilzenon, like Svan Thorson, like Danny Rose, still, going to be able to bring in. It's like I've not seen a squad this stacked where even the changes are strong. There's no real weak link. Are they going to play well all the time? No. But it's a squad that you always feel like even with the changes they could make a difference. And really, Sheffield Wednesday had a little bit of a push. They're always going to, but losing two players early on to injury, Johnson and I think it was McGee that got injured as well. Losing them early on didn't help Sheffield Wednesday's cause, and then they did call upon Barry Bannon and Ugbo after about 70 minutes to try and get the way back into it. But we were just calm. We just knew what we were doing, knew what we were. Neo Eccleston came on near the end for us. Dar Burns just showed up. Vernon, we obviously know Vernon is it's so good to see getting regular games out of Vernon, and it does show the difference with Charles to without. If we just briefly look at some of the stats of the game, because the Mariners did hold on to that, should have made it 2, but Justin was just offside. It was a ball put in midway through the second half. Beautiful ball across the face of the box, which Justin got to. It kind of went under his foot initially and then dug it out and it went in. We thought it was 2-0, but it was rightly chalked off for offside. But if you look at the stats, Sheffield Wednesday just edged overall, 51% to 48% for the Mariners. But if you look at this as a stats to where we were, 3 shots altogether for Sheffield Wednesday, 10 for the Mariners, none on target for the young Sheffield Wednesday team. The Mariners got 6 on target. But it was close in the touches in the opposition box. It was 12-10 in the Mariners' favour. So, Sheffield Wednesday were promising. They just didn't have that cutting edge. Whereas Christie didn't have a save to make. Their goalkeeper had to make 5 saves. But the fouls committed were pretty close. 14 to 13 to Sheffield Wednesday in that one. And, they got 4 corners to our 3. Attempts out of the box, we had 5, they had 1. Shots off target, 1, we had 4. Shots on target, like I said, they didn't have 1, we had the 6. But this is interesting, the distribution stats. We had less of the ball. We literally had around about 17 passes less than Sheffield Wednesday. But our pass accuracy was near enough the same. Backward passes, we made 65, they made 61. Forward passes, 129 to 158. Total long balls, 80 and 68. And the successful final third passes, 61 to 52 in Town's favour. total crosses 12 to 15. And that's where Sheffield Wednesday were dangerous. Like I said, they got in good areas and they had no problem putting the ball across. And, you know, they came close a couple of times, but they're the kind of games, in a way, that a goalkeeper loves, but also doesn't. It's funny being a goalkeeper. In one sense, you don't want to have to save anything. In another sense, you kind of want to, because you never know what could happen unless you're called upon. But overall, a very dominant performance by the Mariners. Good effort by Sheffield Wednesday players. We know they're going through their own turmoil, so really, really good luck to them. I hope they can get their off-field issues sorted out, because it is a good club. It really is a good club, and it's horrible to see what's happening over there at Sheffield Wednesday. So good luck to them for the remainder of the season. While we head on into round 4, there was 9,422 is the official attendance that was given. Around about 6,000 of the Mariners travelled. And onwards to round 4, haven't done this, like I said, since 2001. Haven't won in the third round since 2000. It is, I don't want to say we're in sort of dreamland, but what a team we've got so far, you know, and you know, again, we could do with maybe getting teams off a little bit easier than we do, but that's still one defeat for the Mariners all season so far, and we've only not scored in one fixture, which is another plus for the Mariners as well. Things are good so far. Injuries are on the way back, coming back slowly. Town, we just look and we just feel in a real good place. This ownership has been incredible, and there's no doubt about that. And if you did go to, just to finish, if you did go to the fans forum, I did watch it back. I wasn't able to go for I just wasn't able to get there, but I was able to watch it back when they uploaded it a day or so later. And everyone just seems relaxed, which the general demeanour of everyone is just relaxed. That's the fans, that's the board, that's David, that's... Because everyone's pulling in the same direction. And I haven't seen Grimsby like this for years. And it's such a great place to be. And if you were one of the 6,000 Mariners fans that travelled to Hillsborough last night, do let me know what you felt. What do you think the atmosphere was like? You know, obviously with most of the stadium not being full. And what did you guys think of the performance as well? It's still kind of pinch me moment that we've made the last 16 of the League Cup out of absolutely nowhere. But, you know, we could have some big teams again to play in the next round, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys thought down below. It's always a pleasure, guys. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment, and hit that bell button. That'll let you know when I upload some new content. In the meantime, guys, up the Mariners and onwards to round 4. Or now should I say, onwards to Barnet. I'll be back with a preview for that later on in the week. In the meantime, guys, up the Mariners and round 4 beckons. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.